How glad I was to get to this Prievidza railroad station and bus station combination. After that very frustrating, sometimes angering, and very, very confused day of getting here. I love traveling on trains. Since I was, I think, 10 or 11, I'd been on long distance train travel. But it just smacks to me of a great time of transportation. Fortunately, buses have replaced a great deal of what trains used to do, as illustrated on that frustrating day getting here, where at one point a train person gave me an option that would have gotten me here sometime around 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, whereas I grabbed a taxi, and after a great deal of frustration to find a place and people to talk to, I finally got a bus, and it was here in less than an hour and 15 minutes. Thus I was here by around 2:30. What's mildly interesting is why the inside track, in other words the one closest to the station, in many of these stations I've been in, is completely abandoned, and it's the outer lines that you end up using. I think this is their beautiful colors, eh? These stations have deteriorated dramatically. In some cases they still retain a quaintness, like this inside waiting room, refurbished with the floors a bit, but probably the benches and the walls remain the same except for that wainscoting put on sometime in the past. Whether it's also a bus station like right here, it's really great because it gives you the connection between those two systems and a great deal of flexibility. And then even down here, where that lady in pink is where you get the local buses to get up to Bojnice and other nearby places. One reason this track is abandoned, except for these cars that are stored here, is that this warehouse probably never sees any business anymore, although it's still secured by some metal siding inside there. But the trucking industry has taken over probably all of that business that was here, just because it's more flexible. With the new freeway that's almost finished running through this part of Slovakia, it should be a complete death knell to any idea like that. Railroads persist, but will continue to be a nostalgic, very special use type of transportation, I'm afraid. Partial solutions to their gypsy problem is to tell the gypsies that from now on, instead of getting money, they're going to be given these places rebuilt on the inside in a simple way into individual housing units, and they'll just be stuck on tracks in certain locations, and gypsies can go there. Maybe eventually they'll decide, like our welfare people, it's time to start working. I don't exactly know what I'm eating here. It's kind of like it's a weedy type thing, of course, and it has a spice on the inside that I can't quite identify, although I recognize it. But it's a little bit too weedy for me, so I'm going to toss the rest of this. So off we go on the milk run to Bratislava, and after an hour or so layover, off to Budapest. Pretty, because all along the tracks are these bunches of beautiful poppy flowers. seems that wherever the land gets torn up around the railroad, or in between the tracks, there are the poppies. I wonder what that long pipe is for. It seems to have no ending purpose, except maybe to expel gas. Don't end. Huh, strange. It's an old compartment car. The next car up is a very pretty new car. I mean the seats, but not compartmentalized. Most people are going up there. The benefits of being in this old car is that most of the people are going up there. It sounds silly, but it's the same thing with the plane. When it starts, there's a thrill. It's like the adventure begins again. There are also these bunches of reddish flowers. Maybe they're roses. That's just a one-street village, it looks like. One long street goes down the tracks. I think that may be a rock quarry. The other side of the hill, and it is a stone quarry of some sort. Coughlin is a main, I think it's kind of like a Home Depot. And there are chunks of land here that are just laid out as permanent plots for people, kind of like really well-established victory gardens, post-Second World War area. These people have their little houses they create, which are like a tack room for gardeners. To me, a day on the train is just like any other fun travel day, always worthwhile. And what I do is roam between one side and the other, looking for what might be of interest, hoping though the shots seem uninteresting to someone who's not traveled this. For me, as I know from other videos, it will directly remind me of this moment and of this trip. That must be a pig farm or something, because I can smell it from here. Is that a field of thistles or sunflower seeds or something? I don't know if this is a community effort or an agricorp effort. You're fortunate enough to have your own garden at home. Young man, if agriculture was one of the main industries, and he kind of chuckled, said no, he wasn't sure what was, but he was confident that was not it. And I said to him, does the EU restrict what you can do in agriculture? And he answered yes. You have to know in what way it did so, but it would not surprise me given the agricultural interest of France and Germany in the EU and its power within the EU. First examples I've seen of what looks like it could be organized farming, agriculture, agricorp-like. There are some really slick trains and probably fast on this line. One went shooting through here. I don't think it was quite as modern as that one was. Bratislava. I'll stay only long enough to get the next all my research suggested that Bratislava was not a place that was very interesting. So I've tried hard to avoid it. Thought I was going to be able to do that completely, but unable to do it. I had to come to Bratislava first and then down to Budapest, but I'll be there in a few hours. Now that I'm back in a major city again, I will see people from other countries like Asia that I haven't seen before. In Slovakia. You can tell this is probably the high-speed train that's being built through eastern Hungary and I think into Romania. You can't hear the click-click that you normally hear. Approaching Danube Bend, and there are 3 or 4 cities down here that I'll visit over the course of the week. On little boats perhaps like that. There are actual ferries that come up and ferries that go across. I will probably visit this castle, whatever it is. This town is Vac, V-A-C. A modest old train.
但小的店馆肯定有，所以这次我去看店肯定有小的那种。正常要我爸原来从来没超过5000万，现在这。